Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is a scene for the Living World of Darkness Camarilla, venue. In this scene, Madame Monroe has received a call from that damn cell phone that she's been trying to get rid of. Um, but it was a request to meet someone that she met not too long ago when she first entered town. Um, so she agrees to the meeting at a downtown um, underused like Greyhound bus station. So there's the internal station that she'll peruse a couple of times, make sure that there's no um, recording devices that she can see um, before she um, drops in under cloak of mass of a thousand faces and with a mask under her mask, of course. Always the onion. Monroe arrives on the scene, immaculately dressed. She looks, the mask that she presents today looks young, early 20s, Mediterranean beauty, long, straight black hair. And this young Mediterranean beauty sits at exactly the predetermined spot that they both agreed upon, opens a newspaper pre exactly as they agreed upon as a signal to indicate that she was there and ready to speak. And she waits, not really reading the newspaper, just kind of looking at her surroundings from beyond the paper.
John drives his bike to the bus station that he knows and he picked, and he tried to be there 5 minutes earlier, but Madame Monroe was already there. And he, uh, he takes another round around the street and come back, park the bike, get out, get off it, walks in. Um, he has a newspaper in his hand. He sits in the seat beside Miss Monroe, starts opening his newspaper, and look to his right. Um, Hello, we met before?
Yeah, I think I might have looked a bit different back then. I had some work done, he says with a chuckle.
Ah, okay. Uh, John will continue pretending this is a casual conversation with somebody he just met in a bus, and he has a newspaper in his hand, but he's no longer interested in it. He's looking to his right. Uh, go. Glad you could make it. I tried to also find your other companion, but I'm pretty sure you can send him the same message. Uh, it goes like this. I'm going to make some assumptions and feel free to correct them. And no offense meant by any of these assumptions. They apply on all of us. Or they are made on all of us, they don't apply necessarily. The first one is we are new in the city. The second one is we need to find a niche. And it's always alluring and seductive to get into the niche of some patron, of an existing primogen, of an existing house, or an existing coterie, and you will feel like they're doing you a favor. They will feel like they're the luckiest sons of bitches around to have you. And however, the way things work in the tower is even the small things. Any favor you do to them, they feel like their time is worth much more than yours. They will want 10 favors in return. That's the way it works. As such, I would like to start some sort of unofficial coterie between us. Um, not necessarily new vampires or noobs or starters, but at least let's say new people in the city with not much status in the city. I mean, I do have some status in the Camarilla, but not. I lived here for 30 years while this place was Sabat infested. I leave for 15 years. I go to sleep, to torpor. I come back and I have nothing. I just have like a couple of old friends that I used to have, and I don't want to say I'm a nobody, but I I don't have any of my network or my circles. And I'm pretty sure you being in the city, your only network is a bunch of elders who seems like they're doing you favors, but really they'll be collecting you from you soon for every little thing they do. And so I would like to start this kind of unofficial coterie between us, you people in the city. Pragmatic coterie.
You do have a persuasive point.
I would say it's a pragmatic. They have the coterie of war. They have the coterie of influence. They have the coterie of masquerade. They have the coterie of this and that. This is a coterie of friends. Now,
Mm,
mind you, a friend in need is a best indeed, but it goes both ways.
agreed. The idea is intriguing enough that I can't dismiss it out of hand. Um,
I mean, we are already friends. We are already ready to do favors to each other. We understand where we are on the food chain, and it's an undeserved location on that chain.
mm, were I 100 years older, I would probably think my current position would be quite deserved. But considering that I'm not 100 years older, I would say that my position is definitely undeserved. I'm far too talented to be considered at the bottom of any food chain.
And so, if I mean, it's not a decision to be made now. We can agree, or at least we can talk about what would we do if we agree to officially start. What kind of ritual we want to implement to welcome people in, to deal with people who want to leave, with how to, all of the cutlery things.
Yeah. The official rules of the coterie.
But it's not official. We're not going to go primogen on each other right off the start.
Mm,
But first, at least, if you have an initial agreement to continue with this conversation when it's going, then we can at least discuss um, the further steps.
I'm definitely interested, John.
Okay.
Definitely. Um,
Interest is interest is almost synonymous with keep talking.
um, I do believe I promised you a little something as well a couple
Yes,
months ago.
yes, you did.
Whenever you're ready for that tutelage, let me know. Consider it a token of good faith.
I am ready. I'm always ready for good faith. Do you want to discuss that now or after?
We would probably have to go a little somewhere a little bit more private um, for that kind of tutelage. Um, but whenever you're ready for such things, it doesn't have to be now, of course. I am willing to make good on my debt.
Okay, I didn't hold you indebted to anything I remember, but I'm always open for late Christmas
Oh,
side
come
present.
on, you're being modest. You helped two newbies through the town, and you showed us the way to righteousness and the warmth of the tower. So
Oh, thank you.
you're owed some courtesy. Um,
And so, the way I see it is, it will be a coterie for. Uh, I mean, I can't say it's a coterie for every new person that comes into the city. That doesn't work forever.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know, what one you're only new once, and then you're no longer new. But it could be a coterie for the kind of skills that we have. A person with a critical skill, but with no resources to invest his skill in. What
Or,
does a new person? Hmm?
or a skill that we can use to further the mission of the coterie. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking not something super stealthy. We already have a scouting coterie of this city. But we still need those skills to be effective to understand what's going on in the tower. We need investigative skills. We need stealth. I could bring these things to the table.
it
Um,
is a more or less. I don't want to say it's a selfish coterie, but it's a more or less. I mean, what does a new person need in the city? He needs to not get killed. That's first. If everybody does that, but for somebody who's new, it's much higher than your average, because if anything happened, we are the war fodder. We will be sent in first,
right.
and we will not be missed. And we are encroaching. So anyone who gives us anything will feel like we are taking something from them. And if we go away, they get that something back. So this particular challenge doesn't mean that I'm not particularly interested in joining being a scout or an investigator. I mean, I already joined the Max Castellanos, Max, no, sorry, Max, yes, Max, the Venture Primogen
Ah,
uh, coterie for influence, because from my point of view, my skill and presence, what else am I going to do with it until I build my other skills? Um, you mentioned, I think you wanted celerity. I'm ready. I can share that for now, though that's a separate subject. Uh,
I can share. We mentioned before imparting some of the skills on influencing the beast within as well as without. So I could definitely teach you about the beast and how to summon creatures to you, or even how to control the beast within. So
yes, that's a very important subject for later. Um, so it will be mostly like a survival welcome gift basket coterie, as far as I'm concerned.
the
Um,
welcome basket coterie, I love it.
Making sure the new guys that come in are not sabat, are not coerced. If any change in behavior, we can always find it and actually save the neonate, because literally, if you get dominated or presence, you have no you have no choice in the matter. You have no intent to betray.
Right.
You just become somebody else until somebody removed that curse. And elders may not look at it this way. Elders may just want to make examples, and they will take that new guy and they will string him. Meanwhile, we can find ways to, at worst, put him to sleep for a couple of years, and then the curse will wear off, or whatever the threat will wash away. So it is, if anything, it's a survival pottery, but I don't like to call it that because it sounds weak and um,
It's a coterie of neonates, but it's more than that. Is newcomers. We're going to have to work on the name, but I think we're agreed on in this mission,
we agreed on the
and
purpose.
that we're looking after the kind of new kid on the block.
Yes, except we happen to be new kids right now.
Hmm.
Will it be a permanent coterie? I don't know. When we get older, are we gonna still want to continue that little
Um,
institution we started? Possibly. Why not?
Perhaps, but it can be an organic thing as well. We can see how it develops.
I don't have to be a full active member in it once there's other more. Once I'm no longer putting my time, then other more devoted. members can take over.
Yeah, it has. It
I
definitely
don't
has
think
its
you'll
merits.
live forever. Hmm?
It definitely has its merits. It's surprising that such a thing doesn't already exist.
Um, I think it exists. I think that's what the entire anarch movement is made of.
Ah, yes,
I would rather have something else within the ivory tower to handle disgruntled employees.
yes. It definitely needs to be done, particularly in this time of war.
And so I was thinking Adrian Hunter, but he hasn't answered any of his phone, and he seems to be missing.
Hmm.
His own friends don't know where he is. I was thinking the two of you. Um, I understand there's a couple others. There's a Tremere, but he's already in the so far up the, I don't know he's so far up the Ivory's ass, but I mean he's really far up there. And I believe there's some Gangrel who joined. I don't know where he stands, but I'm pretty sure uh, he would like to be in some sort of survival coterie. I think it appeals more to his instincts.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of strength that can be gained from such a coterie.
The other issue is what does a new person in the city need? I mean, let's put some things on the paper. You're a Nosferatu. I'm guessing you are part of a Nosferatu. I hope you are part of a Nosferatu network, and you owe them a lot of certain loyalty, I guess, because they can kill you if you don't give them the loyalty. I don't understand how it works, but I understand it exists. And I don't know if this loyalty transcends the city or not, and I don't care. But I understand you have to give some back. You have to share some information, and you have to be ears and eyes to the Nosferatu, who is the ears and eyes to the Ivory Tower. And that's fine, and you don't have to hide that from the Qahri, and I don't have to deprive you from information that helps you build your usefulness to whichever organization you choose to join, because usefulness is survivability. If you're not useful, you're not survivable.
We're of course loyal to the tower, um, but a new a new Cainite to any location definitely needs shelter and a certain amount of resources. Just that some of us are trained enough to master before we move to an area officially. Others might move under duress or well, might move to a city under different circumstances. So, like the ability to provide a new vampire safe haven and a certain amount of blood, substance goods, it would definitely be beneficial. That's something that we can offer.
Emergency blood, emergency haven,
Yeah, at least temporarily.
contacts, lawyering in case they screw up. You have to lawyer up for them.
Our city particularly has a unique set of laws and rules associated with it. Um, so it's always good to be able to have someone on hand that can explain like the different rules of the city, where you can go, where you can't go, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, etc. So we definitely need someone proficient in New York 101.
Which I'd say it's something even us are not particularly fully grasping. What else?
Um, sustenance goods, haven, information.
Who's gonna get
We need
pen out and start writing on the fold the paper and start writing on it? Haven, resupply,
we need contact with the prince, obviously, so that
friends, contact with friends. Should we make it official? We're not gonna make it official for now because we don't want to interfere with our other some kind like Like if you're joining another of the existing coteries of the city, how many coteries are you a member of, right? How many clubs do you join? Which one has your loyalty and all that?
Right.
And I don't think that membership of a type of a survival coterie should have any negative influence on any of your other endeavors. It's supposed to help you with your other endeavors.
Indeed.
I don't use to say it's a secret coterie. I just don't know yet how official we want to make it. Until we get approved to have a coterie, I don't think we should worry the elders about some coterie stuff because then they call it an anarch movement or they call it a new sect. I'll just leave them and where they come from.
I agree. No need to worry them unduly.
We will worry them duly once we get an official recognition for it.
Indeed.
Um New person in the city need basic set of influence, at least around his own haven, um, whichever his area of interest, whether the police, the law, the hospitals, whichever is his source of blood, he probably needs some sort of influence into it. We need them to have basic influence. It's easy to get a little bit of influence in every domain, so we
Yes.
should try as much as possible to get our new members um, informed to get their influence quickly uh, in all the as many domains as possible.
Yes. What about contact with their clans?
That usually we can shave off a month of people running around trying to find out who's who, and while they're trying to find out, other people are finding them out, and
Okay.
it can help avoid a lot of embarrassment. So we should. Yeah, that's should be like in a welcome package.
Yeah, that's pretty decent amount of responsibility. Then we want to be successful and not spread ourselves too thin.
So for one thing, is getting everyone one point of influence in each in as many domains as possible. Um, I don't know. I don't know how much you care about influence as an astrologer because you're a watcher. You generally speaking. I mean, as I said, I'm making stereotypical assumption, but Nosferatu generally are the watchers, are the ones that know, but not particularly interested in moving.
All right.
But that doesn't mean that having a little bit of influence is not something beneficial to you, and that can help you know more about more things.
You're right in that area as well. Um, we come in all shapes and sizes. There are definitely more politically potent Nosferatus than me. That's for sure.
Yes, on the higher echelon, the biggest political powerhouse I would say is the Nosferatu. On the middle management, it's all Ventru. On the lower management is everybody else.
Definitely something I want to rebuild for the new city of New York, but it's a long-term goal.
So that's something to think about, to consider what and how. Um, we can. I'm still trying to find the. For now, we have to collect as many newcomers, or else it's just the three of us, which is still fine. Three is better than one.
Definitely. Um, I am going to see what I can do about um, securing a blood supply. I have a reasonably large herd. I'm not sure how I can capitalize on that.
Well, it's not that you always have to rely. It's just in case we need the emergency blood, we have a body in front of us. It has he's locked inside a van. He's frenzying. As soon as we open the door, he's gonna jump us. and we want to give him something else to sink his teeth into other than us. That's
Okay.
the kind of problems I foresee with newcomers. Um, they put themselves in situations. I'm one of them. We put ourselves in situations that are not uh, are not always of our choice. Um, yeah, that's the kind of. But I don't think that we have to provide. I mean, if somebody wants blood supply, then sure they can pay for it. I mean, that's a discussion between you and
Yes.
them. Um, I'm interested to herd though. Is it a human herd?
Yes. Of course.
I have to work for mine, but I don't have to work too hard.
I
Um,
have to work pretty hard for mine.
are you still building the herd, or is it big enough for your needs?
It's big enough for my needs, but I'm always interested in expansion.
I can definitely help with that. I never had a herd. It made make life easier. It's like owning your own grocery store instead of having to always check for coupons. Uh, so there's that. Let's work on having a herd. Herd. Work on basic set of influence. I guess basic set of influence will be streetwise, streetwise, underworld, police, religion, occult, hospital. Maybe I don't know. Media
It's
is nice, but I don't think it's something we really require for our own survivability.
if you want to cover up some blood work, maybe.
So I put it as secondary. So hospital and media. Hospital and media you will not use for yourself. You will use it for your job, for your other circles.
Right.
It will increase your survivability by proxy, by making you more useful, which is good, but it's not direct. I mean, I love to have hospital media as a corridor and as part of the influence, coterie and all that, but as a newcomer in the city, it's not
I
great. I'm
see.
sure you like to have it as a source of information. So we
Yes.
like to have everything.
Yes. I see what you mean. Not directly useful, indirectly useful. So,
There is political, religion, upper world, upper class. All these things can be done if somebody wants to, but it's not like if you need to have a contact in a church or something, we can work on it on an individual basis. But I don't think that all newcomers should have it.
no, definitely not.
They have other things to concentrate on. Yeah, I guess that covers the basics. Uh,
That's fair.
Short of finding a name, but I don't want to find a name until we find a purpose
Right.
and define a purpose. Um, I don't like changing names.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's otherwise. So let's move on to the opening our Christmas presents.
Well,
Where shall we go?
um, I have this hotel that I frequent.
Mhm.
It is very um, private.
Yes.
Um, so if you wanted to do a little bit of learning today, that would be the perfect place.
Okay. So how far is it?
It's about 20-minute taxi ride uptown.
Do you mind getting on the bike?
Ah, I don't know.
All right, let's go. You don't need the helmet, do you?
No.
No. Okay.
All right. So they step outside the bus station and hail a taxi, 20 minutes uptown. Um, Monroe will pay for the taxi ride.
No, no, it's like we'll go. We can go on a bike. My bike is here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
My drive, let's see, just in case. Okay, we're watching.
Woohoo.
So we make it to the hotel.
Yeah.
Were
She
you
just
were you interested in yourself in aspects or celerity or presence?
uh, celerity. Your speed one. That one
Okay.
definitely. Um, he pays for a room, and it's definitely a sleazy rundown place, but it's sleazy and rundown in a way that you know that they don't ask questions about people who rent rooms here.
By the
Um,
night or by the hour?
it's by the hour.
Figured.
It's definitely by the hour. And she
So
grabs the keys and she goes to her room. Come on.
we go.
All right. Closes the door.
And as I'm sure the receptionist is looking behind us with his own ideas in mind. And we go, close the door. Is it on room service?
There's definitely not
Should have brought my own Big Mac.
there's definitely like room service, and I would be kind of iffy about sitting on the bed. It's going to be kind of nasty.
No, I don't want to catch lice. So we spend let's spend some certain number of hours on. I like animalism, but I think for survivability first I need to obfuscate if possible.
Okay. Okay. So she will
Couple of
spend
points. Hmm?
a number of hours trying to like explain the concepts of obfuscate because it's really a projection of the mind. It's fooling someone else's mind to make them think that you're not there, to make them look other places so that you go unnoticed. So she's trying to kind of get the concepts down of how the discipline actually works.
And I'll try as much as possible to hide, and I can't, but we'll try.
So she's definitely teaching you the fundamentals.
And then a couple hours later, I guess at least 3 hours later, I'll explain a little bit on celerity and how it's you have to stop moving there. You just have to want to be there and try and think outside your body. And your mind is faster than your body. And then once you leave out of you let your body, the beast, do its own thing. You can start making more decisions per time cycle.
That's an interesting way of explaining that. He's definitely excited about the prospect. So
And so, how everybody else slows down around you, and that shouldn't scare you. That shouldn't worry you. You should accept that. Uh, it seems like the world moves in pictures and gives you more time to make decisions. But most people just panic when they get into that place. Uh, they feel like they're passing out, or they lost conscience, or it's too surreal to the human mind. And so that's another 4 hours. And did you did you hunt for today?
I did before I came. Yes, I definitely made sure I topped myself off. Projecting such a beautiful facade is exhausting.
Mhm. And how much it costs more blood, right, to choose a certain particular appearance?
Right. Yeah.
Is it like one blood point or four or five? Or...
It's one blood point per appearance above your own. So Nosferatu start at zero, and she's like appearance four right now. So it's taking some effort.
Okay, you definitely need to maintain a hurt for that. It's worth it.
She likes pretty things.
Then bastards like me who's high aspects will eventually one day get to see right through it, but that's
Oh, that's gonna be a very sad day because she is
yeah.
hideous. Hideous.
So I think we get. I'm pretty sure I get to choose what I want to see anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, you
Maybe
get.
I'd like to see how you really look like. I don't. I probably would. Maybe eventually.
Yeah, well, yeah, just for practicality's sake, she's going to eventually show you how she looks, so you'll actually recognize the real her as opposed to all these different faces she keeps putting up. But she's not there yet. She's a very vain creature.
It's very unique.
I'm gonna
Uh,
miss you,
hmm?
but very silly Nosferatu. But eh.
No, not two Nosferatus are the same. It's it is a unique aspect of our existence. Uh,
So
that's it.
after a
Hmm?
while, she would like since it's getting early in the morning, she will ask, "Have you fed?"
I'm okay. I just lose a point for
Okay,
today.
okay,
I usually my hunting to hunt for me. I have to hunt in a place full of people,
okay.
and right now the streets are empty. I don't feel like running down a bomb. If you have other suggestion on how to feed this early in the morning, I'm all open for for it.
I have my herd that I normally rely on, so it's easier for me.
You have access to them all day.
I'm gonna have access to yeah the hours that that I normally am around. I do have access to them. Um, they like to party, so they're normally always available. They're normally usually available. The main concern is that usually they have already imbibed some type of substance, so typically, depending on which one I get, I can have
Buzz out of it.
a bit of an aftertaste, depending on which member of my herd
I
I
have
pick.
a weakness. I like to drink from people who smoke cigars.
Uh, they're not as refined as that to
No,
smoke cigars.
but I can always offer them one, and then
Yes,
see which
definitely.
one of them
I'm
accepts
sure
it.
they wouldn't be opposed to cigars or marijuana or alcohol or whatever else you offer them.
Uh,
But li- when you're
uh,
young, life is
so
that's what life is for when you're young.
here's the first mission for the Cottery, and it's something that was just thrown my way. Uh, what's his name? Max, the Ventral Primogen, wants to build up the influence of the police. So I've been spending this month
Yeah.
um, researching researching what I know about the police, and from his point of view, the police is the traffic cop for all the other institutions in the city. And in
Mm.
his opinion, it's the first one to start with, and I don't think it's wrong. Uh, if you like to share, I can share with you all the research I've done, and it will give you an excuse to buy up um, a point.
I'm always interested in strengthening my resources.
Hmm?
I, I'm always interested in strengthening my influence. Um,
So I'll start a little bit discussing what I found out about all the precincts and all the addresses and who does what and what's a sergeant and what's a lieutenant and what's a detective and all the things that I've been researching for the last 2 weeks.
huh,
To the best of my ability of somebody researching things for 2 weeks. And some of
okay.
the cops that I talked to when I visited some police station in the local area. And so what I am collecting, I'm trying to collect right now is names of of cops and their reputations.
Hmm.
A really good cop is useful. A really corrupt cop is also useful.
Okay.
Eventually, do more business with the semi-corrupt ones, not too corrupt, not too clean. Um,
Okay.
we
That's
do
something I could
we
probably.
do business with the normal humans. And I
That,
figured if you get a contact or two, and I get a contact or two, then you can have you can start building them up.
yeah, that's something I could definitely help you with.
Uh, and eventually, that should be part, I think, of the city. Everyone who joins in, this is one of the first influences they should, uh, after Streetwise, of course. After Streetwise and Underworld, I think that's one of the first ones.
Makes sense.
I have influence with the Underworld. I don't have influence with Streetwise. I'm also working on that. And you should get to help me out. That would be great. Um,
Yes, that should definitely help you on your streetwise. That's going to be very valuable.
do you already have any kind of influence in the city, or still starting?
Still starting primarily. A lot of my influence didn't really were too tough to transfer over. Um, I have somebody influence within the police. I found a corrupt police officer. He was. I found out that he had like a, an affair on his wife, so I'm kind of using that as a bargaining chip to gain information. So it's
Okay.
sloppy. It's sloppy, but it's
What
a
rank is
starting
he?
point. What's that?
What rank is he?
Oh, he's a sergeant. He's a desk
So,
sergeant, though.
do you want to try and make him more let work for you less coercively?
I don't know. I'm not sure if I've perhaps damaged our relationship by the way I started it, or I'm not sure. I haven't known him for very long, so I'm still trying to definitely try and get a sense on his usefulness. He's not very motivated. So I might be better off using him to get information on a more upwardly mobile member of our New York police force.
I mean, he cheated on her. Did he cheat with a lover, or did he cheat with a prostitute?
He was a lover, a male lover. So
Wow.
that's definitely one of the things that he doesn't want to get out. But
Not even to
eh,
the rest of the police force.
yeah, but I think the fact that I'm holding that against him is definitely damaging our beautiful
No, I mean you can
relationship.
always rebuild the relations, right? If you can, I have to provide him with what he wants.
That's true. That's true. That's a
So as
good
long
point.
as we can invite him somewhere and arrange for him to be entertained,
Yeah.
then if one was damaging, we can give him two.
Aha. That's a very good point.
So yeah, one way or another.
It is.
Um, yeah, we can. If you ever wanna build him up for something else, that's fine. If you just wanna get more names out of him, and then we can build these other people up. It's fine. If they need drugs, we can provide. If they need women, we can provide. If they need
I think I'm
men
going.
from Mars, I'm not sure.
I think I'm going to stick with this one. I feel like I've kind of abused him a bit, so I like him to at least get some measure of security. I don't know.
All right, but we can further
I like,
correct him if you ever need to,
yeah,
or at
I like,
least so you prove your usefulness to him, so he doesn't feel like he's being used.
yeah, I like rooting for the underdog
So he can
one
feel
on
like
one.
you know, less likely of him to give you wrong information and things like that. If you know who's buttering his toast, if you know what I mean.
I do. That's a good idea. Very good idea.
Okay. But that's the kind of things that require either other influences or friends in low places. And this cautery should be very useful for acquiring friends in low places.
Very good idea.
Exactly to do things like that. I build one contact for you, you build a contact for me, we build a contact for our other friends. It's fine. It's what I call even boon. If I was to ask a primogen to help me build a contact, oh my god, he's going to be owing my balls for months just because he gave a bag of weed to some cop. But in our situation, it's on even ground. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind spending a night for you if you spend a night for me. That's just don't like to spend a month for somebody just because they spent an hour for me. That's where I feel being myself being used.
I
So
agree.
yeah, let's see how far we can push this thing.
Sounds like a plan until it
Thank
isn't.
you very much for this obfuscate. I'm going to sleep on it and try and come up with it. Let's agree to meet some other night. I guess in a week.
Yeah. You have my
Are you
number.
practicing this month?
You have my number. Feel free to use it.
Thank you.
And keep practicing. Keep practicing it. It'll
Yeah.
sink in eventually.
Well,
Well,
do you need me to drop you somewhere?
I think I can take it from here.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll shake hand. I'll kiss the hand. And
And you will
thank you
walk
for a
off
wonderful
and
night.
thank you for your time. And Monroe will walk off into the night.
And I'll go in a bit and get on the bike, move around, take a turn around the block, make sure there's no one around watching or turning around the block with me. And then, or actually walking after you, like no one picked up his car, whatever, and drove after you. But my perception is shit, so I don't even want to roll that. And um, even with aspects, it's shit. And then I'll take off. And with that, I guess we conclude our scene for Nazi and Toreador shenanigans.
The clan of the rose and the rat.
Nah,
Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night, good evening, good morning, whatever time of day it is. Laters.
laters.